Hi, everyone. Good evening. Thank you all so much for being here. We have a full house tonight, which is fantastic. Glad to see all of your faces and names. If this is the first time you're joining us over one of our Zoom meetings, we just ask that everyone keep themselves muted unless you're presenting or asking a question, just so we can avoid feedback during the meeting. If you happen to forget to mute yourself, I might mute you, but no offense meant. Just want to make sure everyone can be heard. Otherwise, we don't have a super long agenda this evening. I will upload a copy of it here into chat just in case anybody wants to follow along that way. Otherwise, we'll get started here with our treasurer's report. So, Dan, the floor is yours.
Oh, hello everybody. Hopefully you don't hear the sirens in the background. Everything's normal, just normal Merion Village stuff. So let me share my screen. So overall, this month is the balance sheet is kind of the same compared to last month, but I can see this now. Hold on, there we go. Our income statement went up last compared to last month. Last month we had a loss of about $35 for the month and like around 1,000 overall. But I think mostly just due to the Founders Day, we had an uptick this month. So a net income this month of 2 grand, and then overall so for the year we're at a uh we're not at a loss anymore. Last month we are at a loss of 1,000. This year we're plus around $1,100. So yeah, I think the big uptick was just extra money coming in from the Founders Day, and then just kind of an uptick in either new members or members renewing. So compared to last month. But yeah, besides that, not much has changed. And I did talk to David. These will be included in the uh meeting, not no, the minutes for the meeting that he will post eventually. So, any questions at all? Alrighty, I'm going to wait. Stop sharing. Stop sharing. Okay, back to you, Jess.
Thanks so much, Dan. All right, folks. So that is our recap. And now we'll give another recap and we'll talk about Founders Day. So I know some of you here certainly joined us. We started celebrating the Marion Village Founders Day last year, although I know there were some other celebrations many years before with some folks who had used to be involved. So last year, though, was the first, at least since I've been around, which is around 2014. And we just kind of celebrated at the info center, a champagne toast, a book exchange, painted some rocks to spread around our neighborhood parks. We had a really good time and a great turnout. So this year we went even bigger. We partnered with the Century, which is the event space at the corner of South Fourth and East Moeller, and we hosted a market with local vendors who either live here on the South Side or are already very active in local markets on the South Side. There were a total of 22 vendors who joined us that day. We had two food trucks out back, and we saw so many faces. So many people turned out for Founders Day, even though it was a little chillier than we had hoped. But it was honestly a wonderful day. We got to meet so many new people, see faces we hadn't seen in such a long time. And it was really just a great event. So far, based on the feedback that we've gotten, everything's been very positive. And other than wanting to add some new signage next year so people know exactly where to go, it sounds like this might be joining the host of our annual events, which is very exciting because next year, April 23rd, is the 40th birthday for the Merion Village Association. So hoping to do a big blowout for that one and really excited to see everyone for that as well. If there's anyone that was at Founders Day and just wants to share their feedback or their thoughts, we'd love to hear from folks since this is the first time we did market. Always happy to hear what people thought or where we could improve, make some changes. So anybody can feel free to jump in if they have anything to share.
I'm willing to add something, Jess.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Um, as someone who's been around since my hair was dark, I can tell you it was very nice. It was very nice to meet some of the new folks. I have missed some meetings for a while, and it just was that's a great space over there with now that building,
Beautiful.
what I still call the old race quit building, but um, and just it's a nice thing. And if there's any interest in ever digging up some of the history stuff about the group. If anybody's interested in that, let me know. We can maybe dig up.
Always, Bob, always.
That's it.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. For those who don't know, Bob was the president of the association. Bob, what were your year? What was your year to year? I don't know the exact
Well,
years.
I started in, I was vice president. I joined, Dorothy French was president, and that was in 92. And I essentially did it for 20 years, but it added up totally to 20, but there was a 3-year stint in there where Darren Wozniewski, who used to work at the German Village Society, historic preservation guy, where Darren took over, but then Darren moved to Madison, Wisconsin, and then I became president again.
Pulled you
So,
right back in.
yep.
Well, fantastic. Thank you so much. So happy to see you here, Bob. Loved seeing you at Founders Day. Anyone else was at Founders Day or has anything they'd like to share? Any thoughts?
Introduce myself. My name's Angela. I
Hi.
just joined. I was a vendor at the Founders Day, and I just wanted to say that the process for getting the vendors in, I was a little worried. I was like, oh, 20 minutes, that's going to be really difficult. But it was the most smooth, coordinated, easy process that I've ever done as a vendor. And I've done tons of events like ComFest and Hot Times. And I just thought that the way that you guys did it went really smoothly. And so I really appreciated that. Um, and rollout was just as well. Your staff was helping me, which was really nice, trying to get it out of there. So yeah, I just wanted to say that and also introduce myself. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. That's very helpful. We had such a small space for vendors to unload that we weren't totally sure how it would go. So we're hoping some of that momentum can carry over to the festival this year when we'll be dealing with about 80 to 90 vendors. And hopefully we can be just as smooth. So thank you for joining us. Thank you for being there as a vendor. The first year of an event is always a little scary. You don't know how it'll go. So we appreciate you and thank you for sharing. It was wonderful. All right. Anyone else just have anything they'd like to share about Founders Day before we move on? Okay. Thank you again if you were there. And if not, we hope that you'll be able to join us next year. All right, let's move into some of our committee updates. First and foremost, we'll just touch on beautification. There is no active committee for beautification, so if that's something you're passionate about, let us know if you'd like to spearhead a project. We're certainly happy to help get that coordinated and organized, since we know that as the seasons start to get warm, everyone gets really passionate about beautification. So if that's the case, just let us know. Otherwise, let's talk about membership. So if you are currently a member of the association, you've probably seen our alert that we are converting to a new membership system, which for new members is officially live as of today. And all of those who are current members will be getting an email from us here in the next few days with information about your system, your information being imported into the new system, and what that means for you, how to basically get yourself set up to make sure your account's up to date. And then you'll be able to choose whether or not you'd like to have manual renewals in the future, or if you'd like to turn on automated renewal, which many of us, myself included, are very excited about. I'd like my membership to just renew every year without me having to think about it. So if that sounds interesting to you, we've got a deal for you. So that information will come out soon. We're just trying to make sure from our side first that the process is easy to follow, make sure we've got all of the instructions out there so that there's no questions. But of course, if there are questions, we'll be happy to answer and help as we kind of all move through this process together, getting into the new software. So I'm very excited about that and looking forward to having a system to help us better manage all of our wonderful members. Let's see here. Social. Lauren, is Mike with you?
He is not.
Okay.
I can give us the short updates. We did have another happy hour, Marion Village happy hour, a couple weeks ago. And it was a really great success. We had it at Red Brick. We had probably at least 15 people there, I would say, kind of taking back patio. Met some new neighbors, saw some old friendly faces. So I think, we're going to try do another one here in maybe like June or July. I think it was, we've tried to figure out what's the best way to get, if this is something people want, have good attendance. And I think doing it every couple months, and especially now that the weather is nicer, is probably what seems to be maybe what people are more interested in. So yeah, it was a great success.
Thank you so much for that. Fantastic. Very excited to see those back. And thanks to Mike for helping to always coordinate those and make sure folks have a chance to get together for happy hour if they'd like to. To zoning, let's see. I don't believe Tate is with us this evening. We don't have any zoning items on the agenda tonight. Tate is continuing to review some of the meetings that are being held by the city and what they're publishing to keep up on that. So Tate is trying to have a representative from the city either come and speak to us soon, share with us what that process is looking like and how things are going, or if a city representative is not available, Tate's going to get some information together himself so that he can share it with everyone, just to keep folks in the loop. So if you're interested in zoning, stay tuned. We're hoping to have that as a meeting in the next few months. Lauren, would you like to share on scholarship?
Sure. So, as we had the chili cook-off back in March, and we with that and our online fundraising, we raised about almost $1,300, and some of that is from last year that rolled over a little bit as well. So the scholarship committee did just this week pick a winner. So I will not reveal the name just because that the applicant hasn't been notified yet, but they will be notified this week. So our next meeting will have more of an update on that. But yeah, we have really great applicants selected. So well done.
Fantastic.
Thanks for everyone who came to the cook-off and to who donated and helped support.
Thank you so much. And thank you to you and the committee for all of the work in making sure that application looked great, getting it out to students, and the hard work of reviewing it and then trying to decide who the winner was. We appreciate that. I'm sure that is not an easy task, but it's exciting to get to offer the scholarship every year. So thank you. Okay, let's move on here. I do not believe we have a Southside Area Commissioner with us this evening, so we won't have any updates from that side. So let's walk through some of our upcoming events and what those entail. So the event that's happening soonest is, of course, our first yard sale of the year. So this Saturday, May 4th, from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., we will have our spring community yard sale. We have a total of 44 houses registered and on our map. So those are scattered throughout Merion Village. There are a lot on Gates this year. So if you are familiar with Gates, you'll find plenty of sales there. But we've got those maps published on our website. You can follow along on the interactive Google map. Or if you prefer, you can actually print a PDF listing of all of the addresses as well. We do typically list those addresses in a manner that allows you to follow along our many one-way streets in your vehicle if you choose to do so. So please feel free to download that and take it along with you. Lots of great things look for sale. It does look like we might be expecting some rain. I'm hoping not, but if so, little rain never hurt anyone. So get out there and shop. The yard sale is rain or shine. So unless it is a torrential downpour, there will still be plenty of sales out, we hope. Starting the same day is, of course, our Fitness in the Park series. So we've got 22 classes scheduled this year. That is every Saturday at 9 a.m. in Moeller Park, typically a mix of yoga or HIIT classes, which is high intensity. A lot of great classes this year. We'll be publishing every week who the instructor or instructors are for that class and what's coming up. So those classes are hosted by volunteer instructors. So we don't charge a fee for those, but we do encourage everyone to make a donation directly to the instructor at the class to thank them for their time and for their hard work at the instruction. So hope everyone will really enjoy that. And then, of course, after the yard sale, we will be hosting a Goodwill drive at the Info Center once again. These have been very popular for the last few years, and we are very happy to continue partnering with Goodwill for those drives. So we will have the Info Center open for you to bring in donations or e-waste from 3 to 5 p.m. on Saturday the 4th. There are lists on our website of what is accepted and what is not accepted. We cannot take furniture. We also cannot take televisions or computer monitors. There are some baby furniture items that are not accepted, things like car seats, because those are safety risks, and so Goodwill cannot accept them. But otherwise, it's a great opportunity to do some spring cleaning, get some things donated. The e-waste component, we've just had that now for a couple of years, and it's really nice as well. Whether you have old Christmas lights or keyboards, cell phones, whatever you've got that is just cluttering up a drawer in your home, feel free to bring it along, and Goodwill will break it down and put it to use in other ways. So excited to be hosting that again. All right, let me scroll down here. The Southside Area Commission has their next monthly meeting on Tuesday, May 28th, starting at 6:30 p.m., and they meet at the Parsons Library. So if you're interested in those updates, please feel free to join that meeting. They are open to the public. And then, of course, our next monthly meeting is Wednesday, June 5th, right here on Zoom, beginning at 7 p.m. Hope to see you all there as well. We have our garden tour, our 25th annual garden tour coming up on Sunday, July 14th. Applications to be a host for the garden tour are currently open. We take and love to have gardens in all stages. So whether you're just getting started, or if this is a situation where your garden's been growing strong for 30 years, we definitely want to see it. All stages, all gardens are beautiful, and please do feel free to apply. We will be taking your applications, I believe, let me double check here, until June 9th. So you've still got some time to apply. I know a lot of people are trying to see what their gardens are going to look like this year before they get those applications in. But please do get your applications in as soon as you can. We'll typically try to take between 8 and 12 gardens. With this being the 25th anniversary, we definitely want this to be a special tour. So really excited to see who's going to be on the tour this year. It's always a really wonderful event. If you've never attended, this is a free event. There's no admission to attend our garden tour. We're hoping to have pedicabs if we can get those to be available to us through the pedicab company and find some sponsors. But if not, the tour does happen throughout the neighborhood, so you can walk, you can drive, whatever you prefer. It's a nice long tour, so there's plenty of time to see everything. We are taking volunteers for the garden tour. Zach, do you want to talk at all about the kind of volunteers we're looking for at this stage, and then maybe just a little bit of what it looks like for the day of the tour as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're definitely looking for folks who are outgoing and willing to help us recruit businesses to help sponsor the garden tour and obviously the association writ large. Folks, it can be as easy as if there's one business that you frequent all the time that you would love to just make an ask, or if you'd like going door to door, we definitely need help with that. In terms of day of and getting closer to the day of the tour, we'll need help distributing signs, as I know we've distributed for the yard sale. And the day of, we'll also need folks who are willing to either staff our info center, where we'll have events and sort of a check-in there. We'll also look for folks who are willing to possibly organize children-centered activities or non-garden tour-centered activities. And also, I know we also have a runner position, so a morning and afternoon person who can go from the info center out to a garden or location if you want to share our brochures or do outreach, or if anything else is needed for folks along the route. So definitely, if you're interested, either helping in planning or helping day of, we'd love to have you come aboard. So thank you.
Thanks, Zach. And if you'd like to sign up, those volunteer sign-up sheets are on our website for that and all of our other events and our committees. So if there's any volunteering you're interested in, we are always looking for help. All right, now let's talk about the festival. So actively planning that as well. The festival is now in August. This started for us last year, so the fourth Sunday in August. So this year's event is Sunday, August 25th. The festival runs from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. As I mentioned a little earlier in the meeting tonight, this is our biggest event of the year. We'll have between 80 and 90 vendors, 5 food trucks, uh, bike corral with some minor repairs, just all kinds of wonderful things, live music. It's really a wonderful day, such a fantastic event. It gets a little bit bigger every year, and last year was certainly our biggest and best yet. So we're hoping for an even more beautiful festival this year. There's so much that goes on with the festival. We are currently taking applications for bands or musicians and for the Master of Ceremonies. So that's a very exciting role. We've had a Master of Ceremonies now for the last 2 festivals and looking for the voice of the festival for this year. So if you're interested in applying for that role or as a band or musician to play, please do submit those applications again through our website no later than May 15th. So you've got just about 2 weeks now to get those in if you'd like to fill either of those roles. And for the bands and musicians, I believe we typically have between 5 and 6 throughout the day. So there's a little more there, but we will typically only have one Master of Ceremonies. So applications are open. Hopefully we will see some from folks here this evening. We are also taking applications for this year's logo design. So as you can see from my shirt, we've been doing kind of a special logo each summer, typically surrounding the festival. We started this in 2020 when we weren't able to hold a festival for a couple of years. And so this gave us a way to still kind of recognize the year and recognize Merion Village. And it's been so popular that we have done it every year since. So the winning design, the designs will be submitted. We need to have everything submitted by the end of this month, so May 31st. And then all of the designs that we receive will be put out to the neighborhood to vote. And the winning design will be featured on this year's limited run t-shirt and festival mug. So collector items for everyone there. Very excited to have those again. Cannot wait to see all of the designs. But again, you have about 1 month to submit those. You are welcome to submit multiple designs. You just need to either live or work in Merion Village. And then there's some specification criteria on there. Designs need to be in one color. It needs to be something that we can screen print, obviously. So you can see all of that through the application. And very excited again to see. I think we received 14 design submissions last year, which was amazing and incredible. I'm not even sure how people really voted because it was so hard to pick a favorite, but very excited to see how many come in this year. Otherwise, we are still actively, as I said, planning the festival. So there are some volunteer opportunities there as well. And boy, will there be a lot of volunteer opportunities for the day of. Zach, do you want to touch on that at all? I know we've got a while before we're kind of in that zone, but
Yeah, absolutely. I know I feel like we have grown the number of volunteers that we need as we've grown the number of folks who are attending and vendors that are attending. So last year, we know we sort of had a new route for vendors that are coming in. So we have a huge need for volunteers who are willing and able to wake up a little early and get out there and help vendors cross the park from where they're able to pick up and drop off. During the event, we need folks who are willing to provide vendor support. So, unfortunately, some vendors come and it's only them at their table. So they need someone who's willing to let them go get a snack, go get a meal, go to the restroom. So it's easy as just, watching over their tent while they step away. And then, of course, we always need, and it's always the most difficult, we need folks who are willing to stick around at the end and help tear down. So we need to get all the tents and all the chairs and all the tables packed up, help the vendors out, and then load up the U-Hauls so we can take it back to the info center. So definitely need lots of volunteers. This is a great opportunity if you have school-age kids who want some volunteer hours. Last year we had a number of middle school and high schoolers. Happy to provide letters or whatever certifications needed for those volunteer hours. Happy to have them if they don't mind carrying things around. So please feel free to reach out. I know Jess has sign up sheets, and we'll have online forms to sign up for specific time slots if that works best for you too.
thank you so much, Zach. Yep, this is definitely the biggest volunteer call we do throughout the year. I think we're probably at around 50 or 60 people or shifts rather that day. And so it is a lot, but it is so worth it. If you've been to one of our festivals, you understand how fantastic they are. And so when people can come together and help us make the day perfect, we really do appreciate it. So if you want to help plan the festival, let us know. Otherwise, if you just want to get your hands dirty on day of, we will take it. That is it for the actual agenda items. And we had kind of a brief agenda this evening, but as always, I'll open up the floor if anyone has anything they'd like to share, questions, comments, any kind of community interests. Love to hear from folks about anything that might be going on. So just kind of open the floor here. Feel free to jump in, folks.
Hey, Jessica, it's Erin.
Hey, Erin.
You mentioned zoning earlier, and I just wanted to make sure everyone knows that with the proposed zoning code updates, there's actually a gallery downtown at Front and Spring Street. And so I can't remember the exact address, but if you Google Zone in Columbus, you should be able to get there and see when they have open gallery hours, or you can schedule a time, and so you can get all the information about why they're looking at doing this, what they're looking at doing, problems they're looking to solve, how they've parsed out the different corridors and the different types of zones that they're starting with. They are not doing the whole city. They're going to do the whole city. They haven't done the whole city yet. But if folks are interested in that, I think it's a really, I just went this afternoon and thought it was a really nice display of what they're doing and the kinds of effects they expect it to have. And there's folks there who will like walk you through and explain things to you, and you can ask questions and stuff like that. So I'll just plug that if that's something that's been on your radar and you want to go be an urban planning nerd like me, there's your opportunity.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Erin. That is fantastic. I'll connect with Tate on that as well, and maybe we can add that somewhere to our website so people can easily get to it from our zoning page. Zach, go for it.
And I don't want to steal Tate's thunder either, but I know that gallery sounds really awesome to go visit. I know there's a lot online too. There's interactive maps. There's really cool sort of diagrams of everything laid out in terms of the corridor description. So yeah, if you're unable to make it down to see it in person, there's also a lot electronically available that's really visual heavy. So that's super helpful for folks if you're interested in that too.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. That is very helpful. I will share all of that with Tate.
I
Go for it, Bob.
I can tell you this zoning change is enormous. It's the biggest change in terms of how the city looks, feels, operates since I've lived here. And I moved to Columbus in '84. So this is a big deal. I encourage folks, and it's also tied in very directly with getting more density to be able to have transit work more efficiently. And my dream is still light rail, but bus rapid transit is a viable and much cheaper alternative. And so this talks about all that. So I encourage people to check it out. It's a big deal, and it's very, very important. And they've been working on this forever.
Fantastic. Thank you all so much for that. Anyone else have anything they would like to share, ask, talk about?
Hi, I just wanted to introduce myself. I'm Chelsea Wansky Morgan. I think we met at the Founders Day
Yeah.
market. My husband and I bought our house in January, and we did some work. We moved in officially toward the end of March, and we're here. And I'm excited to get involved with the association, and just wanted to say hello. I apologize. I kept getting dropped off the meeting because I was walking around and doing your work at the same time. So I apologize if that was disruptive.
Not at all. Multitasking. I think we can all understand how important it is to multitask sometimes. Yes, it was lovely to meet you. Welcome home, and thank you so much for joining us tonight. I love seeing new faces at our meetings. All right. Anyone else want to say hello or chat about anything before we adjourn this evening?
Can I say one more thing real quick, and I promise I'll be quiet.
Always, please.
Just wanted to give a shout out. I don't know if anybody has checked out yet on Parsons, the Toro Meat Market. This family's been operating up in Route 161 in the old Carfagna space for a number of years. And now it's a brother who has come down here and is taken over where the IGA was. And the IGA, it was a local grocery that a couple brothers ran for decades. And some people would go there a lot. Some people wouldn't go there. It just is a variety of things. But they did a good job. But this is a really interesting time for the neighborhood. And I'm excited about this. I think this is one of the more interesting developments that's happened since I've been here. So I just wanted to give a shout out about that.
Thanks for that. I did see an article. I haven't been there myself, but always nice to hear from folks who have checked out the new places around the neighborhood. Okay. All right. Anyone else have anything to share? Going once, going twice. Well, in that case, thank you all so much for being here. This was a wonderful meeting. Obviously, like I said, we'll be back here next month, but we have so much coming up. Hope to see some of you around at the yard sale or afterwards at the drive where I will be ready to take your donations next or this coming Saturday. And then, like I said, get your applications in if you want to do a garden tour host this year. We are really excited to see what the garden tour will look like for the 25th anniversary. So cannot wait. Always looking for tons of volunteers. Make sure you're telling your neighbors about the association, drag them along to the meeting with you. Always great to get new faces involved and see some faces return. So thank you again for being here tonight, everyone. All right, folks, everyone have a great evening. Enjoy the summer temperatures that we're kind of getting at this point, and hopefully everyone stay cool. Thanks so much, folks.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.